Hey, what's up, church? My name is Nate. I'm one of the pastors here at Triumph, and we're so thankful that you're watching with us with this online service. Should be, if you're watching this sometime around the time frame of December the 28th. I say should be because I know how people are when they watch online. Sometimes they're working that evening, or sometimes they've got things going on. I would say wherever you're at, wherever you're watching, we're thankful for you, but I'll be honest with you, I know where some of you watch videos on your phone, and so we're just going to have a good time jumping in the Word here. John chapter number 14. I wanted to talk with you, just give you some simple truths the next couple online messages, and they're going to kind of piggyback off of each other. So when you watch one, you can watch another one for the Sunday message, and it'll be very, very helpful for you, I think. And I just want to give you some just simple truths. I don't want to overwhelm you with a lot of points. I am a pastor, so sometimes I find a way of making, here's 5 points and here's 5 sub-points, and sometimes that's helpful, but I think in this environment, coming off of Christmas where you're just probably overworked and overwhelmed, and then you're also overwhelmed if you're thinking about 2023, it's hard to believe we're in that year, and what's about to take place, and then you're thinking of your new resolutions and things along those lines where you're trying to, in your mind, find ways to make yourself better while being overwhelmed with the past. And that's a very difficult time for all of us in life. I know just for me personally as a parent, as someone who has jobs, careers, that things come up in life, and then you just feel overwhelmed. And when you get overwhelmed, you do what the rest of us do, and that's just go home and eat cake, right? And then you'll start again down the road. So I don't want to overwhelm you. I don't want you to think that you've taken on too much from this message. I also don't want to underwhelm you to the point where you think that there wasn't much from it. So I've got one major point. In John chapter number 14, verse number 6, Jesus said these words. He said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me." So a lot of times, maybe you've heard that verse if you've been in church before. And we know that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. The early church, though, what you may not be as familiar with, in the book of Acts, we find the Apostle Paul referring to the early church as the way, people of the way. You see it in the book of Acts about 5 times. Other historians part, before we were known as the church, before we were known as the denomination that you have before the word church, it was just people of the way. Jesus said, "I am the way." And then Jesus would also use terminology when he would see people, and he would say simple words like this: "I'm the way, and follow me." A lot of times in life, if we're honest with ourselves, we look at church as a destination when in reality it should be a stop that we make along the way of our journey. You say, "Hey, well, what do you mean by that?" Well, we think to ourselves, if I can just get to the destination, then everything will be okay, when in reality it should just be along the stop of a journey. Because if you're watching this, I don't care what background you have in life or what age you are, here's the truth that you can take home, and that's this. Life is going to come at you in 2023 in ways that you never imagined. For some people, it's going to be way better than they ever thought it would be. For others, it's going to be a little bit difficult because things that came your way you just didn't expect. I know right now in the United States, part of our country, people are worried about economic problems that could arise, and many people, maybe you're not as prepared as you would have hoped that you would have been for a problem that may or may not come. And so as a result of that, you think, I don't know what to do. And then you come and you want to hear a pastor and you want me to give you 5 to 10 points of how to make your life better or how I'm going to fix my own problems. I had a conversation with a buddy of mine on Sunday who attends this church, and he said these wise words to me. He said, most times we get ourselves in trouble when we are trying to play the role of God. Pastors can be the absolute worst at this, and we think to ourselves, when a problem comes, we'll just give you these things, and you will use them, and it'll work. And sometimes, though, with New Year's resolutions, we find a way where we will actually lie to ourselves. The best person that I lie to is myself when I will tell myself that I'm going to do or not do something, when in reality, I think deep down, I know that I don't need another list. I just need the presence of God in my life. We're good at that. We think if we can scheme up a plan that we can come up with a better outcome, or we tell ourselves the opposite of what we see in front of us. When I was younger, there would be groups like a Destiny's Child, and I would say, well, I watch their music videos because of the music, right? Like things where we would lie to ourselves. And you say, Nate, you're in church. What are you talking about? Well, if you don't know, it's fine. I probably just dated myself quite a bit, but so we're going to move on because I'm a survivor, right? That's just one of those things that we're going to do. But we find ways to lie to ourselves, and in life, we try to sometimes use God as kind of a way and a means for ourselves. And Jesus said clearly, he said, no, he said, I'm the way. And he said, follow me. Our hope for this church, as I'm here as one of the pastors, is this, that if you were to come to our building and to our facility and to our place as we move into a new location, which you'll be provided with service times and addresses and things along those lines. Maybe for some of you, this is just where you normally watch for health reasons. Maybe you live in a different part of the country. Maybe you get a chance to watch. You know me, you know Pastor Jason, you know some of the other folks, and that's why you get a chance to watch, but you'll never be a chance to be here. But here's some of the goals that personally I have, and I know that Pastor Jason has, which is this. We hope that you find this church as a place to relax, a place where you can just let go and be who you are, a place that you can refresh yourself in the Word of God, but also around people that are glad to see you and pray with you and pray for you. And then a place to refuel. Refuel for what? For the journey that lies ahead in the next week. This isn't an end-all, be-all. We don't just crawl to make it here and then hope at the end of it we are in a good enough spot. No, this is a place where we want to refuel for the journey that's ahead, and that's found in the person of Jesus. He said, my burden is easy, and my yoke is easy, my burden is light. And so I want you to think about that, church, as we go into the new year, as you're watching this on around December the 28th, and then you're thinking to yourself as you're watching it, well, I gotta get ready. No, you just need to rest. You just need to take a look at yourself every day and say, am I following Jesus today? Well, Nate, you gotta give me 10 points, 20 points. You gotta tell me what that's like. And I can tell you this, if you're a follower of Jesus, you know what that's like every moment. When the good news comes, when the bad news comes, when you get the raise, when you get the promotion, when you get the demotion, right? When all these things come, what are you going to do? I'm just going to follow. When I get the greatest news of my life, I'm going to follow. When I get some of the toughest news of my life, I'm just going to follow. And I think this next year, Jesus Church is just asking us to do the same thing he's always asked, and that's just follow me. Follow you where? I'm the way. On the way. People of the way. Where are we going? How are we going to get there? Right? For some of us, that's easier to be people that just trust. And for some of us, we like to plan, and we're more of what we'd call a type A. We got to be the ones that make the plans. And Jesus says, hey, I've got this. And as life goes, you're just going to follow. So you say, Nate, I thought you were going to give me 10 ways to lose weight in 2023. Well, if I had that, I wouldn't look the way that I do right now. I thought you were going to help me do better in my finances. Well, I know through Bible principles you can do that, and we could teach you some things. But ultimately, before you get a list, we just want you to rest in the presence of God. And that's our goal for you, church, and I hope that you're finding some time of just relaxation and refreshment. I know this holiday season, the way that the dates have fallen, it's been difficult for certain people in different lines of work. And so I hope and pray that as you're watching this with your friends and family, that it's been somewhat of an encouragement to you. I hope and pray that you are doing well. And if you need anything, please reach out to us. We love you. We thank you, church. God bless you, and have a wonderful night.